For a little while now, I've really wanted to change up my model. Not that I don't like this one, quite the opposite. I actually really like Mistake 1.1. Just that I kind of want to challenge myself, and though I have been recently mentally and physically torturing myself, that's not enough. I want to see if I can draw, rig a VTuber model within 24 hours, plus using only the free version of Live2D. I chose to do a chibi-ish model since, well, a full-scale model like Mistake 1.1 would take weeks from art alone. As you can see, the mistake on your screen right now took me roughly a week and a half to draw, mostly because I'm a kind of perfectionist, so I kept changing things, but also because I chose the hardest humanly way possible of even drawing the model to begin with. Like other artists would say, draw out the model and then cut it up, but instead what I did, I drew out the layers first, then I did line art for each of those layers first, then I added base color for each layer, and only then did I render each layer. So I kind of went over the same layer, the same 200 layers, at least 4 times. I made a concept. Usually I spend a little more time on my concepts, but since I don't want to dwell too much on it, I kind of just sketched out a homeless looking mistake. Now you may think I might have learned from my mistakes, but I'm called Mistake for a reason. So I redid the same thing. I sketched out all the layers, I did line art for all the layers, I did base color for all the layers, and then I rendered all the layers. Now, I'm sure that during this sketching process, you might be looking at it and going, what am I looking at? But trust me, the process, trust everything. It looks so much better in the end than it does now, okay? After 2-ish hours, I finally finished drawing the model. Now, she does look really cute, but can I rig her and still keep her the same cuteness? I have my fair share of experience in rigging models. I've rigged, I think, roughly about 4 of them. It was always the pro version. So this time, I was in for something interesting. These limitations were not too extreme. I wouldn't say they were like having Spotify Premium and not having Spotify Premium, but they were definitely something, especially the blend shapes. Those threw me off entirely. I started up with my usual little ritual. I added everything into one warp deformer, and then I added a texture atlas, which is where I ran into my first problem. I tend to draw on really big sized canvases. I'm not entirely sure why, I just like the extra pixels. So when you give me a free version that only supports 2000 by 2000 pixels and I have to fit like triple the size of that art into there, we have a problem. Obviously that meant I had to resize my entire model and well, she lost quite a bit of her glamour, but she still looks nice, so I think it's okay. Then I fiddled a little bit with the parameters, deleted some that I never use, and added a couple that I do use. After that, I finally began rigging, and I had to fit into this time schedule, so I went at it quick. I started with the eyes, and you know how I just said I went in it quick? Well, the eyes alone took me 40-ish minutes. I know, that's a huge time frame, but I actually had a comeback because after the 40-minute eyes, it only took about 15 minutes to finish the rest of the rig. 10 minutes for the mouth, plus 5 because, well, I reworked it later a little bit. 30 minutes for both head angles and body angles, and the last 10 minutes for hair and some physics that I just couldn't live without. I ran into several problems. First being my texture atlas, as I already mentioned, a problem with blend shapes, which I didn't know you can only have 3 on the free version, especially when I'm used to at least 10. I also had an issue with where my eye whites just left me, and it also bugged out a little toggle where only one of my pupils was visible in the background of the new pupils. Well, you'll see it in the end product, but I actually kept it in. I didn't work on it too hard to get rid of it because I thought it looked cute. My final issue was that when I imported into Live2D, I had these black speck triangles on my face. It turned out to be a texture atlas issue because some of my layers were going one over each other, though I did not see any specs when I was rigging the model. They only appeared in Live 2D, so it took me a while to figure that out, but I fixed it, so it's all good. Now, are you ready to meet the new mistake? Because I am gladly going to introduce you. Let me step aside. There we go. Are you ready for drum roll, please? Skinwalker mistake. There's many things I don't like about this model, but there's a lot of that I do. Let's start off with some positives. I actually really like how the eyes turned. Regardless that they're not as bouncy and expressionate as my main model's eyes, they still have a certain charm to them that I really like. I also really like the way that I have that little snout whenever I look down. It took me a little while to fix the fact that you could see it like transforming, but I fixed it a little bit. It's only visible slightly, though I don't know how to fix that. I'm not that pro at Live 2D to figure it out. It was actually my first ever time making something like that on a model, so I hope I did well. There's also some art issues, like some layers are going over others and some are just line art inside of the color. But you know, for a model that only took me 3 hours and 25 minutes, for a model that took only that short of a time, when real models take weeks, months, sometimes years to be finished, I think I did pretty well. You know, I actually think I set a new world record. Yay! At least I don't think any entities around here has made one in a shorter period of time, right?
Yo, what's up, chat? Welcome here to another stream. My god, today we're gonna be playing quite a bit of some Minecraft. I'm thinking about a little about Fortnite. Oh my goodness! Thank you, Stacy, for 10 gifted. Clap it up real quick for you. Oh my god, oh another fight. Oh my god, guys, I love you. Let's start this hype train going on already, and I just started stream. You guys are crazy.